How's it going, everybody? This is RBT bringing you my NFL Week 16 picks and predictions. My camera's acting kind of funny. It keeps fading from being dark to really bright, so I apologize for that if that's a problem in this video, but let's go ahead and get into it. Not going to worry about that. It's kind of hard to start predicting games last weeks of the season because you don't know who's going to sit and who's going to play, but I'm just going to predict every game as if everybody's playing at full force. The Saturday game, wow. You got the Falcons at the Detroit Lions. Detroit played absolutely terrible last week. Matthew Stafford, so many turnovers. Just bad performance overall. Falcons, one of the best teams in the NFL, easily gets it done at Ford Field. I think Detroit makes it a very close game, say a touchdown game, a lot closer than the experts think. But I'm going to go Atlanta 30, Detroit 23. I mean, Matthew Stafford and companies, that's a really dangerous offense, and I think they can give teams trouble. And I think they match up kind of well against the Falcons, but in the end, the Falcons too much. A really good team beat the Detroit Lions 30-23. Moving on to the Sunday games. There's not a Monday Night Football game. Wow, is this the last Monday Night Football game of the year? Yep, it is. Man, didn't notice that. Or tonight is, but anyways. But Sunday, you got the New Orleans Saints at the Dallas Cowboys. It's going to be tough for the Saints at Cowboys Stadium, but Drew Brees is playing better, and I think it keeps it rolling against the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas got really lucky last week against the Steelers. Overtime pick. I don't think you can call it luck, but a good play by the defense allowed them to kick the game on a field goal in overtime, and they won the game. Tony Romo played really well. I think it's a really high-scoring game. I think both teams score over 30 points, but I think Drew Brees playing well. Offense is clicking. I think the Saints win 37-33 over the Cowboys. That's going to be a really fun game to watch, though. Wouldn't be surprised if Tony Romo comes out and has a huge game. Probably one of his best games of the year. But I think the Saints beat him. Oh, my, man. Tennessee Titans at the Green Bay Packers. As a Titans fan, I say if you have Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy team, this is the last week of the playoffs for you. You should be very excited because our secondary is nowhere near ready to take on a team like the Packers. I think Packers should easily beat us by 17 points. Our secondary is just not where it needs to be. Green Bay Packers defense actually playing really well. Their defense outperformed their offense last game, even though Aaron Rodgers did have a good game against the Bears. But I'm going to go Packers 30, Titans 14. The Colts at the Kansas City Chiefs. Andrew Luck did play poorly last week against the Houston Texans, but there's a big difference between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. Kansas City Chiefs had 110 yards of offense last week. That ain't going to get the cut against the Colts. The Colts should win this game. I'm going to go 3-touchdown victory. I'm going to go 31-20. Colts over Kansas City. Buffalo at Miami. Buffalo terrible against the run, even though they've been playing better against the run. But Ryan Tannehill played very, very well last week, and I think they keep it rolling. Reggie Bush should have a big game. Expect him to if you have him on your fantasy team. Start Reggie Bush, and I'm going to go Miami 27, Buffalo 14. San Diego at New York. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think like a 14-10 type game. But I think playing in MetLife Stadium, Chargers really struggling this year. Norv Turner's job's probably gone. He's on fire on the hot seat. But Philip Rivers is having a bad year, man. I mean, you have these type of years, and I think this is the year. And I think the Jets defense wins this game. I mean, the Jets aren't a good team by any means, but I think their defense and their run game with Sean Green will overpower the Chargers. I said they win 14-10 over the Chargers. Washington Redskins at the Philadelphia Eagles. From all indications, RG3 should be back for this game and be at full health. I think they just kind of took him out of last week's game as a precautionary reason. But I mean, it's very, very crucial that he starts in this game because they're battling for an NFC East spot. They're tied for first right now, and they're trying to make the playoffs at the first year RG3 at quarterback, and I think he'll be ready. Philadelphia Eagles, one of the worst years that I can remember from the Eagles. They have their defense is just playing really poor. Lacking offensive production. So Washington wins this game easily by 17 points. I'm going to go 31-14. But no, I'm going to go 31-17. Washington over Philadelphia. I mean, Washington has a great offense, but their defense can be kind of prone to either the pass or the run, really. It's not a good defense, but, I mean, they still win 31-17. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a heartbreaking loss last week in overtime against the Cowboys. Cincinnati played quite well last week. Andy Dalton and company is a very, very good young team. I've said this much lately, but they played really well, like I said, against who was it? The Eagles last week. They won. That was a Thursday night game. Was it like 34-13 or something? But Andy Dalton, Jarvis Green-Ellis, AJ Green, I think upsets Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. Both teams trying to fight for a little playoff spot there, but I'm gonna go Cincinnati by 3 points. I'm gonna go 24-21 Cincinnati over Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if Big Ben is still, if he's 100% yet, and I think the youth of the Bengals get the W in this game against the Steelers, 24-21. St. Louis at Tampa Bay. If this game was being predicted about 2 weeks ago, I go Tampa Bay. But just based off the performance last week that Tampa Bay had they lost 41 to nothing, which is absolutely pathetic. And there's no reason to I mean, they put up a goose egg against the Saints defense, which is one of the worst defenses in all of football. So what reason is there to believe that Tampa Bay can come back and beat the St. Louis Rams, which has a really, really good defense? So low scoring game. I guess you can call it a low scoring game. I'm going to go 17-14 Rams over the Buccaneers. Steven Jackson, I expect to have a pretty good game. All depends on if Sam Bradford turns the ball over. Who knows what Tampa Bay's defense can do with it? But no reason to believe Tampa Bay can beat St. Louis in this game. So I'm going 17-14 St. Louis over Tampa Bay. Oakland at Carolina. I said a few weeks ago that Cam Newton had a good performance, so I thought he was going to be good down the stretch, and I believe that to be so. Oakland did come out and win 15-0 last week. Played good defense, but Cam Newton's a different animal, and he's been playing really well. Carolina's going to get on a roll here, even though it's too late. But it's too late in the year for any chance at a playoff spot. But they're still playing really good football. I'm going to go Carolina by 2 touchdowns. I'm going to go 28-14 Carolina over Oakland. New England at Jacksonville. New England should have no problem overcoming the heartbreaking loss, I guess you can say, the failed comeback against the 49ers last night. Jacksonville played quite terrible last week. Not a good team. Chad Henne kind of revived the offense a little bit, but not enough to beat a team like the Patriots. They go Patriots by 17 points. That goes 31. Let's go 31-10. New England over Jacksonville. Minnesota at Houston. I do think Adrian Peterson and that defense gives Houston a lot of trouble. I think Houston only wins this game by 3 points, but Houston's just too good of a team. And you know what? I'm going to go Minnesota. I think Houston all locked into the playoffs. Minnesota's still fighting. Adrian Peterson, best running back in the NFL right now. Christian Ponder not turning the ball over, not having much production from him, but not turning the ball over. The big three for Houston did have a big week last week, but I think Minnesota somehow changed my mind there. I think Minnesota somehow wins this game by 3 points, just based on the fact that Houston, I think they're locked into a playoff spot. So let's go 27-24 Minnesota over Houston gets the upset. Cleveland at Denver. I've been bragging on the Cleveland Browns last few weeks. They've been playing really good football. They did get beat by the Redskins last week with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Defense, they kind of let me down. I've been bragging on their defense. Defense has been playing really well up to last week. Gave up 38 points to a backup quarterback, which isn't a bad quarterback, but he's still a backup quarterback. So what makes you believe they'll be able to compete with a team like Denver with Peyton Manning, who's probably going to win the MVP this year? So based on that fact alone, Peyton Manning, Eric Decker, they get it done in this game. Cleveland will fight to the end. I think it's a 10-point victory, but I'll go Denver 30, Cleveland 20. Cleveland's a really good team, young team. I think in the years to come they'll be a lot better, but not right now. So they need a few more pieces in that team. Probably another wide receiver, some more defensive players. They're just a few players away from being an actual contender. I really do believe so. They're not a bad team by any means. Chicago at Arizona. Arizona has been playing terrible, absolutely terrible on offense. They won last week. I think they scored 38 points against Detroit. But the main reason wasn't because their offense. Their defense had what was it, 5 or 6 turnovers. Matthew Stafford played a terrible game, absolutely terrible. But their offense is still playing absolutely terrible. I don't think Jay Cutler turns the ball over that many times, and I think Chicago does win this game. I'll go 17 to 10. Arizona does not have good offense at all. Defense is good, but I think the Bears avoid the collapse and come back and win this game and avoid a long losing streak. So I'm going to go 17-10, Chicago over Arizona. Giants at Baltimore. Giants, the other team that I don't believe will win this game. I mean, Eli Manning and Joe Flacco both played absolutely terrible last week. Baltimore got beat, was it by 2 touchdowns or 17 points, something against Peyton Manning and the Broncos. But like I said, no reason to believe a team that lost and put up a goose egg. I think they lost 31-0 or something like that sort. But against the Falcons last week. But no reason to believe the Giants are going to be able to put up a fight this week against the Ravens. And Giants not a bad team, but as a guy that's picking and doing his predictions, why would you have a reason to believe they can beat a team like Baltimore, which is still a dangerous team? They have struggled, but they're still a pretty good team after giving up or after losing by as many as they did to the Falcons. So it'll be a fun game to watch. Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, both good quarterback, just has played very, very poor last week. So I'm going to go Baltimore by 10 points. I go 27-17 Baltimore over New York. And in the last game, 2 of the best defenses in the NFL going in at San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not positive. I think the Seahawks are still undefeated at home. Yep, they are still undefeated at home. And both teams really good, great defenses, like I said. Both have really good running backs in Frank Gore and Marshawn Lynch. It'll be a fun game to watch between Colin Kaepernick and Russell Wilson. But like I said, it's too hard to predict. Both good defenses play similar styles of football. But the reason I'm picking Seattle is because, like I said, they're undefeated at home. Nobody's proven they can beat them at home yet. So I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks by 3 points, 27-24 over the San Francisco 49ers. I think Russell Wilson gets it done, and he's definitely been the surprise of the league so far this year. Can't believe the quarterback that's just about my size is lighting up NFL defenses, or not necessarily lighting them up. He did play very, very well last week. Had the quarterback rating of 99, I believe. But I mean, he's still holding his own against NFL defenses at the size he is, and that's amazing. So Seattle 27, San Francisco 24. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you enjoyed the picks, let me know. Leave a like on the video. And as always, roll tide, go Sox, and go Titans to you. See you guys later. Like I said, subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and see you.